Water pollution is a problem worldwide, but in this video we will be talking about this issue, especially in Monterrey and Mexico City. Water pollution is a contamination of bodies of water, such as lakes, rivers, oceans, and groundwater. It occurs when pollutants are discharged directly or indirectly into water bodies without enough treatment to get rid of harmful compounds. This is caused mainly by human beings, and it is one of the biggest environmental concerns.
Mexico City has the 20th place in the ranking of the cities with the most population in the world. We have 8,874,724 people living in our zone, and the access of potable water is thanks for the Custamalo system.
The water in Mexico is a very serious deal because not all Mexicans have access to fresh, clean water for their consumption, and the system that makes that the water be ready for human consumption contaminates it a lot because of the travel that it makes to be on every house. Besides that, Mexico uses a lot of underground water, causing that the city sinks 30 centimeters per year. Besides that, some of these resources are highly contaminated, making the water very dangerous to drink. In the last months, the Valle de Bravo, where the Cutzamala system obtained the water, has been infested with algae. That means a big quantity of bacteria, viruses, and parasites. This infection causes the increase of intestinal illnesses and, in the worst situation, the death for toxic reasons. But this is not the only problem that we have. The last year, the Health Secretary reported that in the study of the potable water, they found an increased percent of the human stools. This problem caused the closing of the water system for maintenance and produced a shortage of potable water in many regions of the center of the nation.
As evidence, we found ourselves looking at a huge problem that involved potable water being contaminated with fecal bacteria in many communities of this region. This problem was first noticed by the COFEPRIS after they made some studies on the water conditions. When they discovered the current situation, they warned about the negative effects this could represent to the people's health due to the common filtration of the contaminated water into a net distribution of the purified water.
Our main concern for Mexico City is that there are approximately 8.8 million people living here, and the city suffers from an inefficient and inconvenient water supply system. They are unable to supply water to all their citizens. This leads to citizens reaching out to non-purified water, like tap water or in lakes, rivers, and streams which are highly contaminated. Mexico City's water supply is ranked at the bottom of most cities. Due to the fact that it is a big city, there's more fabrics, cars, machines, etc. that in the long term create lots of pollution, and this could also affect the water. And water is a necessary resource for humans. If they don't get clean potable water, they are going to start getting diseases and later on die. Anyone should have access to potable water.
According to many studies, water in Monterrey has very high quality and accessibility rates. The city has groundwater well fields that supply almost 40% of the water demand and has good connections to high-yield aquifer systems that can be used in time of drought, which is quite common in the region. Even though Monterrey has very good water quality, occasionally there are factors or casualties that affect it. For example, the San Juan River, which is the largest and most important river in supplying water to Monterrey, suffered an oil spill that was caused by Pemex oil refinery in 2014. This accident affected the communities around that area. Polluted water has had a very dangerous impact on the people's health, and there have even been some deaths reported because they have to use this water to drink and survive. The government has now taken action to try to find a solution for this issue and prevent any future incidents.
The main concern for Monterrey is that contaminating water near a lake could happen to any other country, and everything will repeat. People that live near it will drink the water and they will get sick and die soon. So the government needs to take action now. On this, if they don't want to do something about it, companies won't care and won't prevent these types of accidents from happening again. The contaminants spread fastly around the water, and it will keep affecting the people who drink that water. Companies are being careless with their actions and are affecting citizens who aren't able to purify water. And it is also affects in other ways that contaminants in the water affect the crops of the people, and they have problems, not only drinking problems, but also with the food they eat.
After we made some research about the situation of water in Monterrey and Mexico City, we found out that in fact, water in both places was contaminated and was affecting the people from the communities that live close to the water bodies. Water population can affect everyone, but in these two cases, it was especially having an impact on low-income communities because that was the only way they could get water.
After doing this project, I realized this is not a problem happening in just poor areas around the world, but it's happening all over the world, and it's affecting all of us. I think we really have to take care of the water due to the fact that it's a non-renewable resource and we're contaminating it. And we can't live without water. We use it for everything, to drink, cook, to take a shower, everything. In this project, we saw the results of contaminating water. You get sick, and the most probable is you're going to die. So if we don't act now, we're all going to get sick soon. And if we want to avoid this, we have to act now, all of us together.
Doing this project, I realized that water pollution is a problem all around the world, and I learned the importance of water and how it is needed for life to go on. I have definitely become more aware of the different forms of water pollution and the adverse effects it can bring to us as well as the environment. I especially learned about all the impact that an event such as an oil spill can cause. To reduce this problem, I think that government should take action and implement policies to take care of the water.
Throughout this project, I found out many things. Monterrey and Mexico City are one of the most industrial places in Mexico. Therefore, they have the biggest industrial pollution problems. Before this project, I thought Monterrey would have worse water conditions with pollution. But apparently, Mexico City not only deals with water pollution, but also water scarcity, which makes the people turn to tap water which contains many contaminants. In both places, water pollution is increasing, which means governments and citizens need to take action as soon as possible.
This project made me realize many things, but the main thing I came to acknowledge that even though Monterrey and Mexico City are two of the most technologically advanced and important cities, we still struggle with the basic need, water. We don't struggle in quantity, but in the pollution of it. Most important of all, I learned how the government of Mexico City isn't even coordinated in this area, due to the fact that the government denied any contamination in the water, while the COFEPRIS, a governmental institution, said that it was contaminated. Nevertheless, we need to improve our water cleaning processes and standards. Water is the main need to sustain life, and if it is contaminated, it may cause serious harm to civilians.
We know that the water of the world is divided in sweet and salty water. As humans, we can only drink sweet water that's found in lakes, rivers, or icebergs. Actually, 1 billion of the people doesn't have access to clean water, and pollution makes the water difficult to drink, and it makes the element more inaccessible.
After investigating throughout the semester, I found out that even though Mexico City and Monterrey are in very different parts of the country, there are certain things that can affect society in both places. Water pollution is a big problem around the world that is having a negative effect on many communities, especially the ones with the lowest incomes. A solution is required in both cases, and we need the government support to make a bigger impact and help more people.
The water is one of the most important elements, and without it, human race couldn't survive.
We learned in this project that polluting water has a ripple effect, because when the water is polluted, all those microorganisms stay there. This polluted water goes directly to the water that we drink. The water we use for washing the dishes, for washing off, and this is obviously dangerous for our health. So it goes from the rubbish to the water and finally to our organisms. That's why we consider it a ripple effect. Pollution water is not especially bad for us, it is also bad for living things.
During this project, I learned that water pollution is really common everywhere, not only in certain parts of the country. Also, I learned how big an impact can water pollution make to a population and how vital it is to keep water uncontaminated. However, it is essential for a government to maintain the sanity of water since it is a fundamental resource used both to drink and water crops. Pollution in these cases can cause diseases and affect the whole population. It is important that companies become aware of the great effect of water disposal so it doesn't contaminate, and for governments to be constantly monitoring their water resources.
As a city, we have to know that we are sharing the water with a big amount of population, and if we don't take care of it, or if we only waste it, the water will be shortage for many regions of the city, and only the highest colonies or medium colonies can resolve the trouble. We have to make conscious of the wasting it and also the pollution of it. The water is a limited element and we are a big population in the earth. If we solve the contamination we throw every single day, our approximate disappearance of the potable water.